Well, Cornwall Council is now preparing to make its case for more control over how money is raised and spent. But one of the most controversial issues is how funding is divided up across the UK. Many MPs are challenging the idea of keeping a formula which means people here get nearly £2,000 less each than in Scotland. The leader of Devon County Council has said there must now be a fair deal. Here's our Home Affairs correspondent, Simon Hall.
Council leaders say the South West loses out by tens of millions of pounds that could be used for services like education because of the Barnett formula, which allocates public spending in the United Kingdom. Following the Scottish referendum, fairer funding, they say, is now vital, particularly at a time of wide-ranging cutbacks.
We had average per pupil funding. It's going to prevent redundancies, particularly across the secondary sector. It means we can employ extra teachers, which then means we can have smaller groups. It means we can put more one-to-one intervention in. We can have better resources for children, modern resources targeted at meeting their educational needs.
The Barnett formula dates back more than 30 years. South West politicians have long complained it's unfairly generous to Scotland compared with the region. Treasury figures show the South West receives almost £2,000 per person less than Scotland. And politicians here fear that disadvantage will grow even larger with Scotland, as the Westminster leaders have promised, to be given more powers.
They've actually appeared to be offering a lot more money to Scotland, as well as the powers of being able to raise tax and that kind of thing. If they give any more money to Scotland, it has to come from somewhere, and we're already well underfunded in relation to the Scottish economy. That does worry me.
We need to see a shift, and that shift must be to strengthen local government and to take away a lot of the powers from Whitehall, because we are not seeing the delivery of policies down here. For instance, look at the delay we've had on the railways. Look at the delay we've had on flooding.
I believe we can use the referendum result and whatever the government now comes up with as a sop to Scotland to force our case and to make our case more strongly. And I sincerely hope that the leaders of our various councils and our local members of parliament will be doing just that. Get up there and fight our corner.
At County Hall, the Devon flag was raised to symbolise a determination to campaign for fairer funding. Economists say if achieved, that would have a significant impact across the South West's economy.
It would make some difference because the economic equations mean that if you're spending more in one part of the country, in one economy, local economy, then that should feed into higher levels of output.
County Hall was getting an autumn spruce up today, and some politicians say that should translate in power terms too, with the South West being given its own regional assembly. What's been noticeable today is the determination of local politicians to use the Scottish referendum result to lobby for a better deal for the South West. That may in turn lead to more tensions with Westminster and add yet another dimension to next year's general election. Simon Hall, BBC Spotlight at Devon County Hall in Exeter.